Hi guys, this is the workout for May 6th. I'm going to be doing a follow-along class on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I hope you can join me, but if not, I wanted to break it down for you today. The warm-up is going to be 40 seconds on, 20 seconds transition. There's going to be 8 movements that are going to help get you warmed up for the strength piece, as well as our 2 WODs and then our core finisher at the end. So for the first movement, it's just a simple up-down. So just like our burpee, except without going all the way down to the ground. I'm going to kick back, stay in a plank, kick forward, and stand up. So there's no jump at the top, and there's no touching of the chest at the bottom. After that, we're going to go single, either dumbbell or kettlebell, alternating clean and jerk. So for this, you just need one weight. You're going to start from the ground, you're going to clean it up to the shoulder, and then press out overhead. You can transition on the way down. Make sure that one head of the dumbbell touches the ground as you go to transition. So it's going to look like this. I'll get it to the shoulder, press out. I'll come down, switch, tap, shoulder, press. One thing to make note of is to keep the dumbbell really close to your body. Okay, so right there. What we don't want to see is this. Okay, so remember to keep it close and pull that elbow in to get the dumbbell to touch the shoulder. Next, we're going to go single dumbbell, sumo deadlift, high pull. So for this, we're going to have the feet out wider. Dumbbell is going to be between the feet. I'm going to hold in the middle of the dumbbell in a deadlift position. I'm going to stand and then pull just about to my collarbones. Okay. Next movement is going to be our single dumbbell alternating lateral lunges. So for this, you're going to have one dumbbell. You're going to get set here in this goblet position. And then I'm just going to step out to the side, go down into a lunge. I'll step to the other side, just trying to keep my knee tracking over my toes. Okay, don't worry so much about getting really deep or anything like that. Just make sure you're moving out to the side and then squatting down a little bit. Next, we're going to go into that full burpee movement where our chest is going to touch the ground, and then I'm going to jump at the top. So I'm going to kick my feet back, kick them forward, jump and clap at the top. Next movement is going to be our single dumbbell alternating power snatch. So for this, both heads of the dumbbell need to touch the ground to start with. I'm going to think about zipping my coat and locking out overhead. Similar to that clean, I want to keep the dumbbell really close to my body. I'm just going to zip the coat, lock it out overhead, come down, transition, tap both heads, and lock out. And remember, keep that dumbbell nice and close to the body. You can also transition on the ground if you prefer. Next, we're going to go into our sit-ups. If you have an ab mat, go ahead and use that. We're going to butterfly the feet. Shoulders are going to go back and touch the ground. And we're going to come up and touch in front of the toes, making sure we're sitting up nice and tall, not slouched over. And then our last movement is going to be our hollow hold. For our hollow hold, we want to make sure that we are tucking the pelvis and also tucking our rib cage down. So we're going to start in this balled up position here, with the arms at the side, then we can extend one leg and the other, arms up overhead. We want to make sure this back is nice and flat, such that you can't get a hand or anything underneath it. That's our warm-up, guys. For our strength piece, what we're going to do, 3 different movements. We're going to do 30 seconds of a double dumbbell clean and jerk, followed directly by a 30-second overhead hold. We'll then rest for 15 seconds and transition to our next movement, which will be a double dumbbell or kettlebell sumo deadlift high pull for 30 seconds, followed directly by 30 seconds of a front rack hold. We'll take 15 seconds to transition into our last movement, double dumbbell kettlebell alternating lateral lunges for 30 seconds, followed by a 30-second farmer carry hold. So for the first movement, we're going to use 2 weights. For this, guys, remember just one dumbbell needs to touch the ground. I'm going to come up to the shoulders, and then I'll press out overhead. I'll come back down. Remember, I'm keeping the dumbbell close to my body. Okay, and then after 30 seconds, I'm going to hold in this position for 30. For our next movement, this is going to be our sumo deadlift high pull. We're going to use 2 weights this time, so feet are going to be extra wide. I am going to deadlift them up and then high pull up to those collarbones. Okay, once I finish my last rep, I'm just going to kind of flip the dumbbells so that they're resting on my shoulders and in this front rack position. And then our last movement is going to be our alternating lateral lunges. So I'm going to hold the weights at my sides. I'm going to go down into my lateral lunge, go to the opposite side here, and then after the 30 seconds, I'll hold for 30 in this position. After we finish our strength part, we're going to go into 2 WODs. Both are 4 minutes. The first one, we're going to get our 50 unbroken Russian or kettlebell or dumbbell swings in, followed by as many side-facing burpees over the weight. Your score is going to be your total number of burpees, and then also note what weight you used for your kettlebell or dumbbell. If you need to scale, you can just step over the weight. Also, if you need to scale the swings, I would say break up into 2 sets, maybe at 25 and 25, or maybe 30 and then 20. So for the Russian kettlebell swing, what that's going to look like is I'm going to have the weight just slightly in front of the toes. I'm going to have my hands in this upper groin area, hike, and then squeeze my butt at the top here. Once I finish my 50, I'm going to go right into my side-facing burpees. So I'm going to jump back, chest and thighs touch, jump forward, and then jump over my kettlebell. So that would be 1. If I need to scale, I can just step over. For our next WOD, after a 2-minute rest, we're going to go into our second WOD, which is also going to be 4 minutes, and you're going to perform as many reps as possible of a single dumbbell or kettlebell alternating up-down power snatch. You can scale by stepping backward or forward instead of jumping. So what that's going to look like is, I'm going to demo here with the kettlebell. So we're going to have 1 weight. I'm going to go down, place my other hand on the ground, jump back, jump forward, and then snatch. I'll come down, transition to my other arm. Okay, and then just keep alternating between the 2. If you're using a dumbbell, typically when we snatch, we hold the dumbbell like this, but it's also totally fine to hold it horizontally or depending on like neutrally in this position here. So this way or this way, whatever you feel most comfortable with, whatever's best for your shoulder. And that score will just be his total number of snatches over the 4 minutes. Last piece is our core finisher. 30 seconds on, 30-second transition, 3 rounds. So the first movement is going to be a single dumbbell kettlebell lat pullover to a sit-up. And we can scale by just bringing the knees to the chest versus sitting up. So the other 2 movements are pike pulses and then a couple different hollow holds. So for the first movement, you're going to set up. You can use your ab mat if you want to or not, whatever you prefer. The weight's going to be behind the head. I'm going to pull over and then sit up and press out. Again, if that's too hard, what I can do is pull over and then just bring my knees to my chest. Our second movement is going to be our pike pulses. So you're going to get set in an L-sit position. Hands are going to be tented by the knees. And then from here, I'm just going to raise my legs up. I'm not going to swing my upper body or try and use that as leverage. Everything's happening from my hip flexor and my core. So I'm just going to be here, toes are pointed. If this is easy for you, I want you to have some sort of weight, and you're going to go up and over the target. And again, try not to lean back, but instead stay in that nice L-sit position. Our last bit of movements all revolve around the hollow hold. So the first one's going to be a hollow hold with a flutter kick. So I'm going to get set up here, my hollow hold, and then I'll kick. If I want to make it harder, I can take a weight and hold that up overhead. Last 2 are going to be hollow rocks, but I'm going to have you add in an isometric hold on one side. So what that means is I'm gonna have my right elbow to right knee, rest of me is in my hollow position, and then I'm rocking. And then on the next minute, what we'll do is just switch sides. If it's too hard to maintain that nice rock, what I want you to do is just do a hollow hold, but still have the knee and elbow meet. So guys, I know there's a lot going on here. We're gonna have a lot of fun in class, so I hope you can join me. But if not, you can follow along with this video and work through it on your own. Please be sure to put in your scores for each of the WODs. Good luck, move well, have fun.